What's up, guys? It's your boy High Top here with another episode of the Baka Gamers podcast. I'm your host High Top, and I'm here with my friends Glow
It's Glow again. Happy to be here.
and the trial. Oh, dang! I was about to get it right.
Every
The
damn time.
trails of Cold Steel expert Nye.
Not an S. And I'm not even gonna correct you. What's up, guys? It's Nye.
You are an expert every
Whoa.
single time we talk about like RPGs. You always bring it up, so I mean that's your title now, for now at least.
All right.
For now.
And
For now.
today we have, as you can see, we have 3 new people on the podcast. So going down the list, we have Aoi,
Hi.
Charlie,
What up?
and Star.
Hello.
And so, guys, as tradition, or tradition now, you have to give us at least 3 anime or 3 video games that like you find you like, and out of that top 3, you gotta pick out one that's like your favorite and explain why.
Ooh.
Pop quiz.
Go.
Ooh, man.
Shit.
Stars. Who's going first
Easy.
now?
Shit. Okay. Damn,
I mean,
just
most
jumped
of
into
us are
that.
like anime. Like a lot of us pretty much like watch anime, so like you can just choose anime. And
Yeah,
then
he made it
probably-
easy. Anime or games, you get to pick.
Yep, I put the order.
Hmm.
So whoever
Okay,
wants
I'll
to go
start.
first. Mhm.
Okay, so Star here, and my top 3 would probably be Pokemon Diamond and Pearl specifically,
Nice.
the Tales of series,
Yeah.
and Symphonia started my journey. Thank you, High Top.
Mhm.
And of course, Final Fantasy 14. And out of all of those, 14 is currently and has been like it touched me deeply, but I think it's because I got to it at a special time where it was not just entertainment, but it was therapy for me, and that's probably why I'm so attached to it, and I love it so much. That's the long and short of it.
Okay. Nice.
Nice, nice.
Nice.
I'm surprised. I thought it would be Tails.
No, I knew it was going to be
It was
14.
it was Tails.
At
Then
a time.
14 was
Maybe
introduced
2
to me.
years ago. Maybe 2 years
14
ago.
is
yeah.
magical, guys.
It is,
Magical.
and you're correct, Nye. 2 years ago, yes, I definitely would have said Tails, but Syria specifically. However, comma,
She ain't lying with that.
Final Fantasy 14 right now is close to my heart. So
All right, it's dope. It's dope. All right.
We have
Aoi,
2 more victims
Charlie?
left.
Okay. I'm gonna go with anime because I mean I do play games, but not as much as I should. Pandemic thing. Okay. Well, anyway, I would say top is Sailor Moon, Yu Yu Hakusho, and my third is like kind of a weird teeter between Cowboy Bebop and Bacano, both versions, the sub and dub.
I know. I mean, Bakano or
Bacano, yeah, but Bacano.
Okay.
I picked the top one because like I watched it when I was younger because the fact that I was able to watch it, sneak and watch it, because I don't know why my list of animes that I've snuck and watched because my parents were like, don't stay up late to watch it, and but I liked Sailor Moon a lot because it reminded me of like, oh, I can be like a superhero, not with the little mini ass skirt though, of course, but I can do those. Yeah, but like with those attacks that she did, like, because no one really realizes her attacks. She does a full twirl, squats down, Megan Stallion knees, and does the attack. Like no one realizes that shit. She drops it low before she does the attack. Like, come on now,
I see the
cool
problem
shit.
here. I don't see the problem here.
No problem whatsoever. Yo.
Nah.
Exactly.
That's dope. All right, cool. And finally, we got Aoi. Yeah, you got your list.
I do, but all y'all need to touch some grass, man.
Ooh.
Anyway, I don't know that I could stick to one side if I were listing. I mean, off the top of my head, right? If I'm talking about maybe 3 anime that just comfort me, that just really do it for me, I'd have to say Monster. is one of them. I'd have to say JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, either the manga or the show. Um, I I I love I love all the seasons, I swear, but Stardust Crusaders really does it for me. And if I had to put a third one in the slot, it would probably be a competition between Danganronpa the anime and Persona 4 the anime.
Oh wow. Okay.
Wait, real quick. Stardust Crusader. That's the second season, right?
Sure.
Mm.
Is it? Is it?
No,
That's the one with
no,
Joseph, right? That's the one with Joseph,
absolutely
right?
not.
It's not?
No,
Okay, it's the
no,
third one. Never
that's
mind.
No.
no.
Continue on.
What the
Nope,
fuck?
no, leave me alone then. Leave
Like,
me alone.
what you
No,
mean?
don't
What you
even.
mean?
Yo,
You mean
Oh
I get
no.
I get
no.
Look, man.
Oh
Look,
no.
look. I
begun.
get them mixed up. I get them mixed
wow,
up.
be gone, be gone, be gone.
That's fine. I was
Wow,
never here to begin with.
Damn.
wow, that's the
No
second
lie.
season. How did you get that? Okay, you know.
No.
Man, I get them mixed up. Leave me alone. They both had Joseph. Shit. Like,
both.
No, both.
Wait a minute.
Let's not go down this
Let's
rabbit
not go
hole.
down
okay,
this
Let's
never mind.
not go
Never
down
mind.
this
I'm
rabbit hole.
Let's
gonna stop talking.
not.
I'm gonna stop talking.
Lord.
But you know,
Lord have
it's,
mercy.
it's,
Yeah,
Stardust
it's
Crusader
fine.
did have Joseph in it, though.
yeah,
Man.
but he's older, and in the third season, he's like old age about to die. So like, let's.
Oh, well, he was
Wow.
not about to die. He was
Yo,
not
he
Not all
is.
that. It's
He is
not
about to
all
die.
that.
He is about to die. Yeah.
Yikes.
Which
I'm
was
just-
your
They called them
favorite?
expired.
Which was your favorite?
I'm gonna put
Anyway.
a.
That's
I'm gonna
quite a
make
list, though. Quite a list.
I'm gonna make a edit just for now again.
Okay, first of all, you need to stop calling me out. I do
It's
that to myself. I
great.
don't need you to do it to me.
It's great. I'm put text on it and be like, this is this is the right season.
I know which one it is now.
Okay.
It's the desert one. I figured it out.
What?
No.
No. What the? Okay.
Moving
No,
on.
you know what?
Moving
No.
on.
No.
She's not wrong.
She's not wrong. But
You're
that
not
wasn't the
wrong.
whole show, though.
I
It
know
wasn't
it's
all
not
the
the whole
show.
show, but they were
it's
in the
kind of
desert.
like, but it's kind of like when you're sitting down to watch, I don't know, Monster Rancher, and your mom's like, "Is that the Pokemans?" Yes, mom, it's the Pokemon. Yes, just say yes.
Yes.
And keep
It's.
Okay, I'm a
I
lot
know.
more. You know what? Whatever. Which
Yeah.
was your favorite? Which was your favorite? Just
Yeah.
disregard everything I said. Like,
Oof, man, that does
Well-
flash me back. Wow.
Oh damn! Now I just dug a hole. But
I
either way,
try my best.
we're moving on. No, it's really dope. Welcome guys to the podcast.
Well,
And
you.
hope you
Thank
enjoy
you.
being here. And so now, next up, as you guys probably, I don't know if you guys watched any of our episodes that have come out, but usually we do a news segment. So for this one, I kind of want to just touch on Cowboy Bebop trailer that came out. Like, I think like 3 trailers came out. Like
Yep, 3.
Mhm.
And I just wanted to see how you guys felt about it. Honestly, me, it's like I like it. I mean, I have some like choice words for some things, but it's not bad.
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
Yeah.
And that could be just because I really enjoyed this one specifically for the transitions. It felt like it was honoring like a lot of the shapes and movements of like the intro. So like the way they actually like push and pull like the divider between like the frames, right? And then like they used it to their advantage. They used it to change scenes or make a point. I had a lot of fun watching it. It was very animated to me, and I didn't mind. Like it took away a lot of for a second I just didn't care, or rather it wasn't really an importance that it was live action or not, because of how fun it was, and that was just the trailer. So I haven't, I'm hoping that the actual series is kind of like that, but at the same time I understand that a lot of people would not like that, and that could just be my taste. That's my 2 bits.
Mm-hmm.
No, Charles, I kept hearing from you. Like, why are you?
I know.
all
Okay. No.
upset?
Okay.
Kelly
I'm
has
sorry.
words for this
I'm sorry.
series, apparently.
Yes.
Speak
I
your
mean,
sorry.
it wasn't her
piece.
it was on her list, so
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Because
Yeah.
I love Cowboy Bebop. I used to, like I said, I snuck and watched it on Adult Swim. My brother secretly recorded the entire Cowboy Bebop movie on one of my parents' old VHS tapes, which was one of those romance soap operas things. So I have a love for Cowboy Bebop. So the trailer, the movie, the show is like, it it's like
Has a lot to live up to.
exactly. And then like I said, well, sorry, Star. Wow, my bad.
It's okay.
It's
It's okay.
Edit that out.
I will. I
It's
will.
all
Don't
good, it's all
worry.
good.
I'm gonna imagine a star in my head. I'm sorry.
Welcome to
All
the
right, so
podcast.
sorry. Edit that part out. Edit it out.
Mhm.
Like Star said, I like the transitions. Like the transitions, like kind of changed my mind on it. It was like, ooh, okay. This is like how the show was because the show's intro has the transitions like that, and it kind of showed a little bit of their characteristics. But it's like when I saw the third trailer, I'm like,
I
no.
feel you. I feel you.
It's like, come on, like it seemed more like they found the costumes on Halloween Town and just like you're like, hey guys, like this feels like a YouTube rendition of the show, you
I
know?
mean, I'll admit, when I saw the third trailer, I was like, "Damn, they were on a budget."
Yeah, like
You
I
can
haven't
tell.
seen the third trailer yet. Is it really that
mm,
different?
I
It's
haven't
not
seen it either.
like
it's
it's not.
it's
Oh, sorry, but it's not bad. It's not bad, but it's like you can really tell. It's like, oh, they had a budget.
yeah,
Dang, you
a really low budget.
could tell
I
they was
mean,
Not always
hurting.
a
That's
bad thing,
crazy.
honestly, because like when you're on a budget, you could get a lot more creative in terms of like trying to cover up the lack of a budget. Maybe instead of focusing on like the design and costumes, maybe they focused more on the story, hopefully. And those transitions really did look good. Because like for
The
me personally,
transitions look great, but
they look
no,
good. They were nice. And like the
yeah.
opening too, like when they revealed the opening, like that was pretty much the Cowboy Bebop opening with some added stuff, it seemed. It actually looked really nice. So maybe just the third trailer is just like, okay, guys, okay, we're just gonna be honest with you. Costumes ain't that great, but we promise it's gonna be good. Like you saw the second trailer. Like
I could get
does
behind
it
that.
feel to you
Yeah.
guys that they're going for like a more light-hearted kind of, I don't know, like I guess, yeah, light-hearted sort of tone as opposed to like sort of like the noir kind of thing that the old Cowboy Bebop had?
I wouldn't necessarily agree. Like, so, maybe I'm just I don't know any other way to say it, so I'll just say it. I'm really genuinely excited for this. And let me put up my umbrella right now because I know I'm going to catch it for saying this.
Mm-hmm.
But this reminds me of when Netflix did Death Note.
Mm-hmm.
Hold,
did you like the
Mhm.
movie? Did you like it? Did you like it?
hold. I knew what I was going to start by saying that. Give me a chance. I genuinely enjoyed the Netflix version of Death Note
Oh my god.
because
Abe.
Cut her mic. Cut her mic.
I did too.
I enjoyed it though.
I can't
I
say anything
liked
about it.
it.
I didn't see it,
Let
so I
me
can't say.
finish. Let me finish. I liked that they took a completely different turn with it. It felt different. It felt kind of like reading fan fiction of an alternate universe.
Oh
And
wow.
I liked it in the same way that you like fan fiction that just completely diverts and does something new. And I feel like that is what this new Cowboy Bebop is trying to do. It's trying to divert. It's doing something new, but it's doing enough of the same that it's kind of like, hey guys, we promise there's something here for you, but we want to do something different, and we hope that you'll have faith and be along for the ride. And I am.
I think we can. Okay, go ahead. Sorry, my bad.
No. I am unashamedly biased because John Cho's great, and I really want to see him kill this. I
Okay.
genuinely want to see him kill this. I know
Honestly,
that there are people who don't have faith that he can kill this, but I do. And in that trailer, seeing the dynamic between him and Faye, this man is going to absolutely eat this roll up, and I cannot wait.
I'm really glad that because you phrased exactly why I like the Death Note Netflix movie. Because like I really did like it too, and it was for the same reasons. Where it's like for me personally, when it comes to live action adaptations or just adaptations in general, I don't need it to be exactly like the original. I can just go back to the original for that. Honestly, I would like to
Yeah,
see.
boom,
Agreed.
right
Agreed.
there.
Agreed.
Right.
Like,
Agreed.
if I want to watch the original, I will watch the damn original. I would like to see a new interpretations. I would like you to try something new. Like I might not like it, but like go for it, try it. And if I don't, then I don't. I still have the original right there. And
I
for me
know that's right.
personally, I'm not a huge like I don't have any like huge connection for Cowboy Bebop. I honestly don't remember most of it, honestly. So it's not like anything that this live action does is gonna make me go like, damn, I can't believe they changed that part. I'm honestly all game for it.
Wow. No,
Oh,
I mean,
Charlie.
I
Uh-oh.
know. It's just like, damn, y'all.
No, no, no. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. No. I'm so sorry.
It's like, yo, I
Cowboy
didn't watch
Bebop's
it.
not going anywhere.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but I
I
think
know.
we can
I
agree on that though, right? Like
Like,
they're trying something new, and they're basically asking for everyone to sort of give it a chance. You know?
okay.
And I'm willing to. I am.
see. The only thing I can 100% like give a chance and 100% agree on is the character that they have for the actor that they have for Jet. Like that, I don't know why. I'm like, yo, that fits. Like I didn't even
You
like
don't know
question
why?
it.
You
Don't know
don't
why?
know
I don't know
why?
why.
You don't know
You
why?
really don't?
No.
Look
We
around
all
you
know
on
why.
this call
Who knows
and tell
why?
me you don't know why.
I don't know
Yeah.
why. There's something about him. I don't know.
I also do want to add on that, like, I say all this about like how when it comes to live actions or just adaptations in general, I do want to see a different interpretation for them to try new. However, you still have to respect the source. I will add that though. Like, you can't just completely disrespect it, where it's like you just took the
Avatar.
characters and completely said, okay, I'm gonna just do everything wrong. I'm just gonna change these characters completely. I'm just not gonna they're just gonna have the names of the characters, but like none of the feelings, the themes, or anything from the original. Like,
Right.
so
We'll give them that, right? They have respect for the source
yeah,
material.
and
That
you
is
could
true.
feel it with the first trailer. You could feel it with the opening, and you could
Right.
feel it with the second trailer. Didn't see the third one, but like you could feel it. They do
Ooh,
it
that third
right.
one.
Right.
The third one's good.
The third one's like, I don't know. It's like,
The third one is good. It's
Nah.
genuinely good. And I feel like we can agree to disagree because I truly do feel
Just
like just because the third trailer has a little bit more of the look, we're a lot like Cowboy Bebop, it might be turning you off initially.
So
Let me.
like the more it is like the original, the more you're gonna judge it, kind of thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. It's
Yeah.
just it's making its own points of comparison, which is completely understandable. You know, you're trying to get out there, shake a little something, sell yourself. And I get that, I do, but I'm already on board enough to give it a chance. And I think at this point they're just trying to get the holdouts to come watch.
Yeah.
Not to be. Can I be like? Can I be the guy though?
Devil
That guy.
advocate, go for
You
it.
may.
Have
Can I
at
be
it.
that guy? I'm sorry.
Have
You
at
may.
it.
But if they just took that same energy and just instead of making it Cowboy Bebop, they should have just made Outlaw Star because
Yeah,
the trailers gave me the
Mm.
trailers really gave me Outlaw
Whoa,
Star
that's a
vibes.
combo.
Yeah, that's what I'm just saying. Like it's really giving me. If that was Outlaw Star, I'm like, yes.
Yo.
You know what?
I'd be like,
You know
fuck
what?
yeah.
I'm gonna say it. Aisha Clan could never in 2021. No, there are just some things, and I'm so glad because that brings us adjacent of today's topic. But there are just some things that I really don't know if they could hold up.
They could fly. Yeah.
Not like there's a lot of stuff. Please tell me. Please tell me. I want you to look me in my virtual eye and
Look at
tell
him.
me that you could sit through a live action reinterpretation of Tenchi Muyo. Tell me you could do it.
Mm-mm.
Never seen it.
Ooh, Lord
Never
of
seen it, so
mercy.
I have
I'll
no
wait.
comments.
I'll wait.
How do you
could
not?
do it? Tell me you could do it for Love Hina. I'll
I
wait.
couldn't sit through a 4-minute
Ooh.
trailer. What you mean?
Bro. Ooh, boy, no, can't do it.
Wait,
Mm-mm.
if you could do it for Love Hina too?
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
I don't think I
Mm-mm.
would ever want that. I didn't even
Mm-mm.
like Love Hina.
Exactly. Exactly. I can't. Mm-mm.
Good job.
Mm-mm.
But yeah, good talk.
Yeah, we'll give it a chance. We'll give it a
Yeah.
chance.
We all know though, if there was ever a like a Tenchi Muyo, everybody just coming for Ryuko. Like,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
There is
Yeah.
no one.
I hate the
There's no
fact that
way.
having not watched the show, I know who that is somehow.
Yeah, there's some things that
I know how you
that
know.
transcend the fandom.
I feel like there is a live action Tenchi Muyo out there, just not
It
made in
probably
America.
is.
Just made in
It's like
Japan
it's one of those
somewhere.
things that you do not want to dig for.
Actually, let me look that up now. Go ahead,
Yeah, she
guys.
gonna look for it.
That's sick.
Yeah, sure, why not?
Well, anyway, besides Cowboy Bebop, anybody else have any like news? Anything they saw this month that was crazy? You want to bring up?
Are we gonna talk about Spy Family?
I
Getting
heard
this
that
movie
they were
anime.
yeah, I heard.
Y'all can I've seen the hype behind that. I'm like,
It's
y'all
crazy
can
because
talk
I
about it.
just started reading the manga shortly before they announced it, and I was like, "Oh, good timing!" Like,
Yeah, it's
perfect.
just, jeez, I don't know. I like the thing is I read Spy Family like back then, and I've caught up. Well, caught up to it on and off, but I don't know I don't know. Like, it could be good, but then it could be bad. That's
Charlie, I feel like you and I kind of align on this because on the one hand, I am completely in support of series like this getting anime because it just broadcasts, right? It gets good content out in front of people who might not be looking for it, might not be clocking it like the manga. But, but, I'm starting to get really fatigued. Like every time I feel like, oh man, this manga's really good and I'm really enjoying
yes.
it and I just chill. And then I just feel like somebody just kicks down the door and is like, and can't wait for the sub to come out. And I'm
Is
like,
that a bad thing though? Like,
it's not.
Yes. It
It's
kind of
not.
it's yes and no. It's yes and no because it's like I
Yes.
feel like there's older animes that I know we've all have read, you know, as a unit that deserve to become animes. I mean, mangas that deserve to become animes because it's like, come on, think about it, like the Ghost one. Was it Miko sees ghosts or doesn't see ghosts? That
I don't
manga.
know that I
I
don't know
read
that
it
I
and
want it to be. I
that's what
just
I'm
want to enjoy
saying.
it
Like
as it is.
that's what I'm saying. It's like, and you know, it doesn't really transcribe well because
Oof.
how the manga is
Money.
set up.
Way at
not
the
to
It's
go
house
back to
of
what
about
we
the
talked about
money.
before, where it's like the manga is still there for you if you're not down for the anime. Like,
Yeah, but it's
true,
not. It's true, but it's like,
which is why I just can't harsh it. Like I will absolutely
eh,
root for things like this to get a show. Like I'm happy, I'm proud, and I will watch a couple episodes to
ooh,
support.
I got.
But
Are
sure,
we talking about like the Miriko-chan sees ghosts?
There you go, love. Yep. Mm-hmm.
That did get
Eric,
an anime.
you
yeah,
no, they're
did.
talking about how do you guys want to phrase it?
Like mangas that you just now started reading that are on the popular list somehow get an anime. So like it's just it just baffles me how that happens. Because okay, like perfect example, right?
It's
Remember back then
popular.
we used to read Flower of Evil, you know, Akunohana, right?
Oh boy.
And then out of nowhere they
Oh
made
boy.
an anime, and you remember that anime for
Oh,
that.
that whoever. Oh no.
Whoever
Exactly.
made that decision. Whoever made
Say
that
Say
that.
that.
decision.
Say that.
I try to
Zeus.
understand what point you guys are trying to make, honestly, because like I mean, the manga is still there, and like I'd say for me personally, I don't read as much manga as I do anime, and a lot of times when I decide to read a manga, it's because I like the anime a lot, and I decided, okay, I'm gonna read the manga now. Um, I did that for a couple of series at this point, and I feel like with anime, it's usually the same case for most people. Honestly, if you really like the anime, you'll jump into the manga.
No, me, I read the manga before the anime, so it's just like, you know,
That's typically
it's
my process too.
yeah, it's just
But it could be like what I was gonna bring up that maybe it's in relation for some reason, like when you guys were talking about this, it reminded me of how easy it is for me to get burnout trying to keep up sometimes.
Mm.
And
that's true.
and and it made me think that like uh it could just be maybe right, it's the industry trying to keep up with said burnout. Like maybe it's more you know, it happens more often than it is like a personal experience with me. And like it's they're trying to stay with what's popular, which is usually what, you know, the sales pitch is usually, right? You know, you stick with what's popular, whatever is like hot right now, you go ahead and push it, get merchandise out, sell toys, sell merch, all that other stuff. But like um that could be feeding into, in fact I believe it is, into the burnout, right? Because you're on one hot thing and then you're on the next hot thing, and then the things that were good, like Charlie mentioned earlier, that should deserve to get the limelight, never see the light of day. So
Mm.
it just reminded me of that, and
I do
burnout
feel like
specifically,
older
trying to keep
shows
up.
do get I
I
do feel
think
like
that
older mangas do get adapted though. Like it's not just
it's
purely the
true.
popular stuff.
But it's true, you know. I think that's why it was such a big deal that Komi-san, Komi Can't Communicate, got an anime adaptation. It deserved it. We were waiting for it, and it's here now, and it's really good. And I think that it's kind of the exception. There's always a couple exceptions here and there.
There's another one though. What's it
But there are
called?
just some manga that you really, really enjoy, and you just want to enjoy them there as manga. Like, maybe I'm nuts, but I'm really glad that Akamatsu never got an adaptation. And if High Top goes back and maybe subtitles this later and says it totally got one, she just didn't see it. I never want to see it. I never want to see it, man. I love the manga and I just want to enjoy the manga and let it be.
You still
Like,
can though.
yeah, and which is
Yeah.
why I'll say it again. Just because I feel this way doesn't mean that if I really do love and appreciate the series, I would never, say, "Oh, this is terrible," or never, proactively avoid the anime. It's just a preference, I never want to harsh somebody else's experience.
Is it more so that like usually when these animes come up, like I mentioned before, like people like me who decide that they want to read the manga, suddenly for that same manga is an influx of new people coming into the community, and a lot of the times that can be
Yep.
kind of weird because it's like, oh man, I love this series, and it's like you weren't here at the beginning though, like kind of
No,
feeling
it,
you
Manga
were.
it
here's
is.
the
But
manga
doesn't that
hipsters.
doesn't that
It
teeter
is.
towards like elitism in a sense?
And
Yeah,
gatekeeping, but I think it really,
exclusivity, gatekeeping. Yeah,
I would.
yeah, but I
Yeah.
think it's really more what Star was saying about burnout. It's tough to keep pace with things all the time, and sometimes with manga, it feels a lot more like it's at your pace.
Right.
yeah.
We know
Yeah.
that a lot of manga come out every year, but because we're American, they don't always come out just bam, 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 bam for us.
For sure.
They kind of get funneled through the usual channels, the sites, the publishers, and kind of released in that steady stream sort of way. But with anime, with so many over the top services having access to these things and kind of banking on your nostalgia versus you wanting new and current stuff, it feels a lot like that pancake scene from Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
I know what you're talking about immediately.
Yeah, man, it feels
Mhm.
like that.
All right. Well,
100%. Like that's why like I really do enjoy reading manga because like I can whenever I feel like I'm just chilling, laying down, sitting, like I can be literally be anywhere, and then I'm like, hey, I kind of don't want to be here in this reality in this current moment, so let me
Yep.
just open up my phone and go to whatever adventureland I wish to go to,
Oh man,
and
not where I
That's
thought
it.
you were. That's not where I thought you were going with that.
That I agree with that.
I need to know what you
Glow,
It's
you
kinda
knew.
serious
I
too.
Glow,
want
you
to
knew. Oh, trust me.
because I genuinely don't know.
I'm just gonna go play in the street and wait for it to happen, and then
go.
Oh
boom.
yeah, that happens.
Isekai.
Those
Yep.
intrusive thoughts.
Good old Truck-kun, yeah. Good old
Yeah.
Truck-kun.
Chaku. Mm.
I feel like
Today's
most
the
people will
day.
want to be isekai though.
I mean, hey, it happens in Yu Yu Hakusho, so. But I personally think that, well, I mean, I kind of ran into this recently because it's like that, like you mentioned before, the new generation that's getting into anime that's like, oh my god, Demon Slayer is my first anime. Um, a lot of them are just watching the anime but not reading the manga, which is, fine. But then there's really good mangas that come out that become animes, and the animes don't live up to the manga. So it's like the kids
Promise
that see it,
Neverland.
That's a
yeah,
whole
Case in
they're
point,
like,
Black Clover. Sorry, go on, continue.
yeah,
yo.
they watch and they're like, oh my god, this is ass, or this is the greatest one, but this is not there. I'm like,
I think
but if
there's,
you read the manga, you would
but
have known.
Okay, I know I'm
but
personally
So
a
there's a
little
better.
bit different because like a couple of the series that I got to manga wise, I'm not gonna lie, the anime sucked. Like Pandora Hearts, like one of my favorite manga series,
Mhm.
one of the shittiest animes I ever watched, honestly. But like the story got me. Same for Yumi Neko. I know no one's ever heard of it. That anime also.
Yumi Neko.
Is it
Wait, that
the
sounds
light
familiar.
novel?
Yeah.
Yumi Neko has a manga and it's also, but it's
I'm
based off
sorry.
the hmm?
Yumi Neko or Umi Neko? Like Umi Neko no Nako Koron.
Yes, Umineko Una. Oh, you do know it. Cool.
You sound so surprised. Like you're
No, a lot of people. Yo, I'm so used to no one knowing it though. Like,
do not
Really?
cite the deep logic to me, witch.
okay, my bad. Okay. Like again, like that show had like a shitty adaptation, but it's what got me to look at the visual novel and like look at the manga. Granted, I never finished the manga, but we ain't gonna talk about that. So I don't think it's always the case that like if you have a bad adaptation, no one's gonna like. I mean, granted, you will be upset because I feel that a lot of times where it's like you get so hyped to see the anime, you're like, damn, this is gonna be good. Akami got killed, like, and then you watch the anime.
Don't,
It's like,
don't,
Don't talk
don't,
about that.
Don't talk about that. I'm about to
Sad.
spit on my mic.
Oh,
Shush.
Poor
Even
Shush. We ain't
Say,
talking about
say
that.
it again. I missed it.
don't.
No. Mm-mm. No, we're not talking. Mm-mm. No.
Okay,
Mm.
well,
No way.
Wasn't the
Mm-mm.
in the manga for Akame got killed was bad too, right? I forgot.
Exactly.
It ended up becoming garbage
yeah,
as well.
It
Yeah.
was garbage too, but it was just that they took out in the anime because I watched it because like I watch dubs, but not really watch dubs because I clean the house and that shit plays. The dub the anime itself took out mad important scenes that held the manga together for those parts, like the scene
So-
with the guy with the gas mask and his family and how he got killed and how his family then got killed. They're like, oh, they got killed on the mountain, not knowing that it was a whole other story behind how that family got killed. But
I applaud you for remembering anything from that freaking anime or
I,
manga.
yeah, and I was like,
Because once that went downhill, I purged the entire plot and everything with it.
No, I'm sorry. It's just that scene fucked me up because I've read a lot, horror and gore and like fucked up psychological mangas, but that shit fucked me up because I'm like, yo, okay. I'm gonna go into like a little summary. I hope it's not too vulgar, but like they went to visit this man's grave, bruv. They went to visit his man's grave, and his old homies that were the new team that they set up went there and fucked both the mom and the daughter and killed them on top of his grave and left and buried their bodies on top of his grave.
for that.
Like kind of shit is that? Like, but they took it out the anime, so it's like, oh, they
I
just
mean,
died.
I could see why they took it out.
Yeah.
Like, come on now.
If
Like,
was about to say people who did redo of a healer, they would just like flash cut to like a.
I don't want to talk about that.
But to kind of tie a small bow on sort of the topic, though, I feel like the motivation for anime adaptations differ from studio to studio, right? Some people are just trying to keep up with what's popular and whatnot. Others, they do adapt manga that's been out for like ever, but they were just waiting for that one person who can finally direct it properly or write it properly and stuff like that. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
wait,
Like,
what? Oh no, never mind. Let me stop.
and when a manga does get that treatment, they waited for the anime to be adapted properly. That's good. And those who love the anime can possibly go and read the manga. Those who were just fine with the anime, they're just fine with the anime. And God bless those people who got an anime that was trash and can't visit the manga like 2016 Berserk, you know what I mean? But
Wow,
You gotta bring that up.
I had to I had to
Wow.
bring it up. All right, I had to bring it up. We can't have the discussion without bringing it up. But
Wow.
then.
Yeah, right.
but no, that's just
Wow.
goes to show that, like, I don't know, the relationship between adapting things from manga, from anime or whatever, like, as long as the motivation is pure, I guess, or I don't
So
know,
long as it's not like
if the
complete
quality
shit.
is there, right? And it's a decent enough try and people give it a chance, maybe it'll accomplish what it's meaning to accomplish. And let's hope that this Cowboy Bebop thing for Netflix pans out.
Yeah, that was a topic, wasn't it? Wait,
Yeah.
was
You
it?
can do
But
both.
can I tie it back though too? Can I tie a little tiny
Yeah.
Yeah, go
like
for
it.
a side bow on the side? Okay. So the anime for Cowboy Bebop, right? The original manga for it is a totally different, like it's the same people, same characters, but the storyline is slightly different. It goes a little bit more in depth to each character compared to the anime. So that's
Completely 100.
yeah.
I,
It's
I found out only today that this thing had a manga, and only I
Ye-
never knew.
What?
yeah.
Wait.
You know what? I'm gonna let it be.
Wait,
Yo,
Cowboy
Let
Bebop has
it
a
slide,
manga?
Aoi. Let it slide.
No, no, you can
Yeah.
come for me. It's okay. It's okay.
I mean,
Yeah.
like I can get it because like most people who would think Cowboy Bebop think nostalgia and Toonami. You
I
know,
thought it was the
Yeah.
Yeah.
original. I thought
No,
it was
man,
the original. Like, I didn't know it
man.
was based off a manga. Like,
Yeah, it's based
Mm.
off manga. The manga is like way different though. Like you get more
okay,
story about Ed, the chick with
Yeah.
the
always having a
armchair.
moment in the back.
Edward, I
It's,
mean.
My moments are never in the back. Anyway,
No, it's like
moving
the
on.
no, okay, that's a
no,
phrase. Continue.
no, it's like the Harry Potter books. It's like, like Hollywood kind of like takes out some stuff and leaves some stuff in and fudges a lot of things. It
But
happens.
you guys are being so harsh. You know, like it's so clear to draw a parallel. Holy Not Mark was working his way on YouTube through Hunter x Hunter. You know, the manga versus the anime, and he
Mhm.
made one call out over a scene in the Hunter exams when they were in the tower. And he was saying, "Oh, they made Gon look stupid because he noticed this one thing about the guys with weapons before, and in the anime, he only noticed it later." And I'm like, it's just a matter of perspective. Just because the anime framed it a little differently doesn't mean that Gon's insight was lost. And sure, within the manga, allowing a lot more time between that realization and the payoff does make Gon seem more insightful, but it doesn't proactively make him stupid, in the anime for changing the timing on that. There are very slight changes and differences between anime and manga that are done for a multitude of reasons. And I feel like we can agree that, sometimes those changes are for the better, sometimes they're for the worse, but for the most part, they're just a matter of perspective.
I just realized, weren't we
the
talking about
sake of
Spy
filmmaking.
Family?
Oh,
We're talking
you
about
know
a
what?
lot of things.
Do you want
We're
to fight?
talking,
Like, what's
we're
up?
just talking about new news and how it ties back to old things.
Because
Pretty
That's
I was
much.
just sitting here. I was like, how did we get to all this? And I was just
No,
like, wait, what?
That's the flow of the conversation.
that's
Okay,
Nice.
that's that's the
Yes.
That's the
flow of
flow of
Yes.
conversation.
conversation.
Thank
no,
you,
I
Star.
get
Thank
that. I
you.
fully get that.
Do
All right.
you?
Do
Well.
you?
Totally
well.
forgot about the Spy Family thing. I'm not even gonna
We
hold you.
did
Yeah.
not.
I kind of,
Yeah, I
I
liked
kind
it. It
of,
was a nice
We finished
discussion.
Yeah.
talking. We finished talking about it. It's no harm.
We'll probably visit it again, maybe later on this podcast with the next topic that's about to come up. Who knows? But with that, honestly, we should move on to the topic of today. And Glow, I'm gonna let you head this one.
Okay, cool. So I think we kind of touched upon some of the points that will make the main body of like this topic and the discussion and everything. But today's podcast discussion is what makes an anime classic a classic, and this can involve your own personal criteria. If you think it's objective, if you think classics are a dying breed, all that is encompassed in this question. What makes an anime classic a classic? And I kind of just wanted to know what you guys thought. Like,
raise my hand.
what?
Glow.
Yeah.
We're all going to jump at once. Okay, Charlie first.
Okay, I'm raising my. Oh, I raised my hand, but no, you do it. So I would go by the year personally, because like I classify a classic as to what year it came out. Because I,
Really?
yeah, I go by like the year. Because like anything like 80s from the 80s, because there was a lot of like City Hunter from what was it 83 or 86? I believe that's the year it came out. I classified those as classic because the animation was different. It was more hand drawn. It was like kind of the bodies, and there was more attention to background detail than it was to the character design. So that's why I kind of classify as a classic. But for my age wise, not age wise, but like for as what I've experienced, like for as my first animes, anything on Toonami, I would classify as a classic, or anything on Adult Swim, I would classify as a classic because it's it was apparently older than when it was actually came to here, but
All right, Charlie.
the
Not not
style.
to not
Mhm.
to and not to interrupt you. I want to make a
Go ahead.
distinction. I want to make a distinction. I'm not
Hmm.
so much talking about like classic in the sense that it's been like memorialized over time, or it's something to be respected over time. More so like sort of recognized or established, like let's say what's this anime? Someone pick like a very old anime that's not good.
Damn.
Oh wow.
I yeah.
Okay, what do you
But
what do
the
you mean
point
by not
but
good?
the point I'm
That's
trying to
not good.
say the point I'm
That's
trying
not
to say
good.
is something can be old in terms of time, but that wouldn't necessarily make it a classic in the same sense that I would say Cowboy Bebop is a classic. Like
Lafina?
it's recognized, it's established, it's sort of memorialized in anime culture. Like that's what makes it a
So
classic.
So
that
something
would
that's impactful.
So
Sorry.
Like a
Yeah.
Akira would be classified as a classic then?
so do you mean like
Yeah.
a Garzi's wing?
Is that a classic technically?
well
Maybe.
I would then like ask that like A, is it mass general nostalgia that makes a classic a classic? And then
Ooh.
there's B, is a classic what what defines or like makes an aesthetic to be a model for later. Like an example, uh Takahashi and anything that she worked on, right? Like
Mhm.
her designs
Mm-hmm.
were
You
like
rang, you called, you
Yeah.
summoned,
like her
you summoned
designs
me.
were like her designs were the model, right? And then
Mhm.
that a lot of shows like ran off of, including manga, right? So there's that. And then there's aesthetics, right? Like Cowboy Bebop, right? And
Mhm.
not just like the story, but it's in general world and its general feel, right? And then there's um also things, in my opinion, right? I'm not sure, to be honest, anything that I grew up on. I'm pretty sure, I mean, I can say that they're probably classics, but I'm only posing the question. Like my gateway was Cardcaptor Sakura, right? So
Mm-hmm.
like, is that a classic? Simply because a lot of people can connect to it and remember how it first made them feel, right? And the same thing with Sailor Moon is the aesthetic of Sailor Moon plus the general nostalgia that it has, and what road did it pave for everything else. So does is a classic something that paves the way for new things? I should probably just sum up and say.
I like that.
Mhm.
Can I take a stab at this one?
Go for
Mm-hmm.
it.
I would say that the same thing that makes a classic is what makes a meme a meme.
Ooh.
Ooh.
If
Ooh.
it is something that uh, easily spreads from one person or one generation to another within a culture, something that can either carry like a meaning or represents a theme or generate a behavior in someone. Like, for example, Caramel Dancing is a classic.
Okay. Yeah.
Is it a good classic? Is it a bad classic?
It's,
You can debate that, but it is a classic. It evokes something in you when you hear the name. It evokes something in you when you hear the song.
Mm.
But that the fact that it hit and it evokes something in you. We spoke about Takahashi's work. I am a huge Takahashi fan. I have every Ranma One Half manga. I have Mermaid Saga. I
Dang.
have My Sunny Koku. It's. I do not like that series, but I have every volume. God damn it. But I think that there are just things that Takahashi does, like the Takahashi couple trope, that are just classic.
Yeah.
So something that's classic isn't necessarily something that's good or bad, but it is something that when you see it or recognize it, it's almost instantly memorable to you. It forms a core memory for you.
I
Okay.
get behind that 100%.
Definitely. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could
I
get behind that.
yeah.
I
I can
mean,
take
Anyway.
when you were
oh.
talking, oh, go ahead. High top.
High
Lord,
top.
It's
High top.
okay. Don't worry. I'll
Wow.
My
edit it
first,
out.
my first mistake of the
But
day.
but sorry to like button knife. But I feel like I might repeat what you guys said anyway. But like in terms of what I think a classic is, like I think more like I think of like the mecha series, like the mecha genre, because it's like I think when I think about classics, I think Gundam,
Mm-hmm.
like Gundam Wing, like all the classic Gundams, and then from there, Gundam like gave birth to even more mecha anime. And like, you know, you look at them now and it's like you got Darling in the Franxx where they got some weird functionality, and
Yeah.
then you have a really amazing anime, Gurren Lagann, where it's like it just go it's robot, it's mecha action, but it's over the top mecha action. It's amazing. I think the bottom line is like there the classic anime. Anime is a classic when it kind of helps, I guess, uh, build off from like it basically sets the foundation for a new anime, you know, like the shonen anime, like Dragon Ball Z. I think Dragon Ball Z is like a really well-known classic,
So
and
something worth imitating, maybe.
Or
yeah,
paving the way,
something.
like I mentioned earlier.
Yeah,
Mhm.
pretty much. Yeah. So, like I said, I was repeating, I was repeating everybody's points, but yeah, something that's like paving the way and kind of like building off of it.
I'm glad you
100%.
went first though, because like honestly, for me personally, what defines a classic, I have like three things that a show needs to do. Like it needs to do two of those three things for me to define it as a classic, and it's a little bit of like what everyone said at this point. One, it needs to pave the way, like Star mentioned, where it's like it needs to do something that influence either the community or like, um, I guess the community, honestly, like whatever genre or media as part of, like whether it's anime or gaming, it needs to affect it in some way, like how Final Fantasy VII affected RPGs. It
Good
needs to
one.
it
Sorry,
needs
Grace. Go ahead. Sorry.
oh, you're good. It needs to stand this test of time where it's like years can pass and it would still be something that's brought up today, honestly. Like how a lot of the older shows that we watch as like kids, like Cowboy Bebop, Trigun, Cardcaptor Sakura, especially Sailor Moon, are all shows that like it's been years, like absolute years, and like new fans today are still talking about it. And the third one is not really the most important one, but it does tend to be the case. It needs to be high quality. It needs to be something that was supremely good for that era. Like when it came out, this was the best shit ever. Like this was what everyone was going to because it was just that amazing. If a show can do two of those three things, as far as I'm
Okay.
concerned, it's
Okay.
defined as a classic for me.
I was about to say because the third thing doesn't really happen
Yeah,
often.
exactly.
That's
I
why I
was about
said
to say
two of
that
the three.
too.
That's why I said two of the three.
Okay.
Honestly, the first two
Yeah.
is the most important part. If you do those first two things, like either you have a huge impact on the community and you influence it in some form of way, and you stand the test of time, you are a classic.
Hear me out. I like Nye's 3 items because Garzy's wing fulfills the first item, um, and the third item, but it doesn't necessarily fulfill the second one. It has terrible art. It doesn't necessarily stand the test of time. Like it's kind of like the game. It resurfaces maybe once every 10 to 15 years when people rediscover it again and just cringe. But they
Yeah.
all have a good time cringing, and I think that's what matters.
Yeah.
So I like it. I like those 3 items. I can get down with that.
And like especially with item number 3, the high quality, and I'm gonna use Sailor Moon. Sailor
Mm-hmm.
Moon was way ahead of its time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Mm.
Way ahead. And
I'll say
like
so. Yeah.
it
I'm
was
sorry.
super ahead of its time. No, no, no. And like and that's what gave it its quality outside of its colors, its aesthetics, its fashions, right? Um Back when like, usually to save like time and time and money, you got the classic same outfit, right? But
Mm-hmm.
no, they dressed these women every way they could, every chance they got, you know? And they were just being themselves, and especially in terms of like the lessons that they taught, and the feelings that they expressed, and the things that they experienced, way ahead of its time. And to me, I mean, it could just be my taste, those intangible things is what gave it its high quality to me. So I can get behind number 3.
Okay. Question for everyone. Do you guys believe that an anime that's come out in the last decade and a half or so could be a classic?
Hmm.
Absolutely.
Mm,
Yes,
Nah,
I
Yeah.
do.
nah.
I think you
I'm
could recognize it as like it can become a classic later because it still has to stand the test of time. But sometimes you just know. Sometimes you look at something and it's like, oh yeah,
hold
you're
on.
gonna be
Wait,
okay.
wait,
Yeah.
wait, wait.
Hold
Okay,
on,
wait.
hold on.
What's up?
I would love to argue this. So let me
Pandemonium.
ask you:
Oh
Sorry,
boy.
go ahead.
Is panty and stocking a classic?
Ooh.
Yes.
Ooh.
Because
I
I
say so.
because I really think that if anyone is going to knee jerk say no, not within the last decade, 2010 was the last decade, guys.
Yeah.
Like let's not act like we haven't had some absolutely stellar anime. Durarara, 2010.
Yes.
Yeah.
That,
Okay.
like,
There
I
we go.
used to role play Durarara.
so before we start in on it can't be a classic within the last 10 years,
Yeah.
try to remember what happened in the last 10 years.
Because
say,
let me make
Sword Art
this
Online.
argument
Like
though.
Gintama, the movie.
Let me make this argument. That's why I was kind of trying to make the point that classics don't necessarily have to have a time requirement. I would say
Correct.
when it comes to time, that's when you can label it as vintage, right? Like
Mhm.
this is an anime
I would
that,
agree.
has
Okay.
time connected to it and whatnot. But I can say an anime that might have impacted the anime community intensely, like without it, the anime community probably wouldn't look the same. It might, still be
Correct.
going
Okay.
on, but it wouldn't be the same that it is today without certain anime. That qualifies it
Correct.
Yes,
as a
true.
classic.
Like, don't get
I
me
get
wrong. When I
behind that.
say like an anime that stands the test of time, I don't mean like, oh, you have to wait like 20 years, and if it's still relevant, then yeah, you could call it a classic. Because like honestly, I do believe like sometimes you could look at a show or something and just know in your heart, yeah, you're still gonna be relevant. You're still gonna be. We're still gonna talk about you years later. Like,
That
Yeah.
kind of show. I mean, I
Like
feel
even
like
if it isn't relevant, like if you can look back or at least remember, oh yeah, that definitely happened. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Durarara
Yeah.
is a good
but
example. SEO, Attack on Titan. These are all shows
Demon
that
Slayer.
Demon
Demons.
Slayer. These are
Demon
all
Slayer,
shows where
yeah.
it's like, yeah, like even though it hasn't been a long time, I know that you are definitely still gonna be an anime that people will remember years later. Like,
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
There's a
That's
history
true.
book. You're gonna have a chapter. You know.
I probably put like me myself. I even put My Hero on that list, but that's because of
My
like,
Hero for sure, not even a
yeah,
question. Like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and that's because not just for story reasons, but for me, the most fun I get, honestly, is out of like the shape design and the character designs and all the colors and the personalities and the character designs. That's what I love seeing the most, and that's why I actually like One Piece a lot. It's so it's like I like One Piece it's my favorite show in anime for like multitude of reasons. But however, like that's one of the things I like the most, like the different shapes, the different character designs, different personalities, and I see that a lot in My Hero. And like there's always a character that someone is going to love, and it could be the most unpopular character ever, but you will run into someone that will love them. Like I used to run like this anime club for teens, right? I was paid to do. And like one of them in there loved Ida. Loved Ida. And I never seen many like Ida like fans like at all. But, loved Ida. And
let's be
and
real. I didn't even know who Ida was for a second.
oh,
I
Huh?
remember now. Continue,
Wow.
continue. For a
Wow.
second, continue.
but that's my
Why do you
point, right? There's always there's literally multitude of different personalities, and that's what I like a lot, and I think that's one of the reasons why it's outside of the story, right? I would
I
put that.
apologize. I just want to see something. Night, who's your favorite character in My Hero Academia?
That's a good question. Who is my favorite character?
I just want to see something.
Oh my god.
Oh. Um. Wow.
I don't think I have one that I'm like
Like top,
a diehard love for.
I hear you.
I have
Maybe like
some.
top 3.
Okay. The lightning dude, whatever the fuck his name is.
What?
He has yellow hair. He has no, not him. Not him.
Yeah,
Not
it
him.
has to be
Mhm.
Bakugo.
You can do it.
You
Yeah,
have to have
some
Bakugo in
Yeah,
your top.
Bakugo
Bakugo
is for
gotta be on the
sure. Like
list.
Bakugo is easily in my top 5.
Oh,
What's her
5.
name? The girl
We
with the blue hair. She's part of the top 3.
with the
Um,
earphone jacks.
Nejire?
No, not the earphone jacks.
the
She does.
giant girl.
Nejire?
Yes, Nejire. She's definitely one of my favorites. Bakugo, obviously.
Just doing top
It's
3.
it's a toss up between Mirio and Kirishima, I guess. Like,
Okay. All right.
or is this
Fair.
leading to?
Fair.
All right.
What were you
Yeah.
trying to get? What were you trying to get at with
Yeah,
that?
Yeah,
where
wait
was
a
this
second. What was
leading to?
that? Yeah, like
Honestly,
who do you
wanted
like?
to know.
That was some
Who do
twisted
I like?
personality test.
Right, that
Right.
was. I felt it. It's
What
like,
you mean?
like it's like you know, like Quizlet that they have online.
You darn right.
Yeah, it's a picture at the end of that shit. What's the picture?
I mean, don't even worry about it. Like
Uh,
I find that a lot of times, and you know, we just got here, and hopefully we'll be invited back. But
Oh,
Nye
that's
and I,
Imagine.
well, Nye and I are either like completely in agreement over like 25% of the time, and then the other 75%, we will be in complete opposites. And I'm not even going to hold you. I was really expecting you to say Shigaraki or some
Absolutely
crazy
not.
stuff.
No.
Not shut
I
up
was
the lips.
I know.
No,
wow.
absolutely not. Wait, who's
I
in your
truly
top
expect-
3?
My top 3? Kirishima is absolutely number 1. Mirio is a close second. If I had to pick a third, it might be
It's your
Ida.
boy. Ah, no.
Ooh.
Like top, but
Here, he loved you.
my top is absolutely Kirishima. He's my favorite. He's the best boy.
I really think that Nejire, because like, man, she's so adorable. Probably would absolutely.
Nejire, I'm not even gonna respond
She
to
needs more
that
screen time. She needs more screen time. Like,
I have a whole dissertation. We don't have time for it. I promise you.
okay. Actually, going to since we're talking about Boku no Hero, I think a good way to know if a anime is like one of those shows that's probably gonna end up being a classic. If more than 75% of the anime community is cosplaying it at a convention, more than likely it is a classic.
I would argue that's popularity, not classic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
agree.
Well, let me add to Nai's statement too. If they continuously, even after the
Yeah.
show's
Mhm.
popular, let's say like okay, like when My Hero Academia came out, of course everybody was cosplaying, you know, even slutty versions of it. If years later they're still cosplaying those characters, that shit's a classic. Just
Or the
Okay.
That's what
costumes
she
are
said.
cheap.
That's
I
a
don't
better way
know.
to say it, honestly.
yeah.
Because like,
Yeah. Okay, then that I can understand.
I suppose if the fandom persists, you know, that isn't necessarily like correlation is not causation. If
that is true.
that makes sense. Like
That's true.
it's a classic not because the fandom persists, but the fandom persists because it's a classic.
Deep.
Damn.
Sure.
Yeah, we gotta dwell on that one, yo.
Yeah. For
Right,
real.
that was
Oh,
deep. Not gonna lie.
Walk it off.
Okay.
Walk it off.
Okay.
That took
So
me.
I guess we already kind of answered this question, but like, do we believe in modern day and classic? Do we think that classics are like going away? Because personally,
Yeah.
I think
I
classics
don't
are
think.
harder to do. Like, I think it's
Mm-mm.
harder to be a classic
Yeah.
nowadays. Like,
Well, then
It's
that's,
true.
in my opinion, if that's if I mean I do believe there's classics and there's possibility of classics like today. But if that's the case, then are you arguing that it's harder to be original?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
harder to stand out because there's a lot more anime coming out like all like at a time than in the past. Like,
Yeah. I mean, I think we
Yeah, this is
talked about
true.
it before on like another podcast. It's like it's almost as if there's a lot more coming out, but there's also easier access, right? There's
Yeah.
Crunchyroll,
Yeah.
there's Funimation, there's the freaking internet where you can get whatever the heck you want. You know what I mean?
No more part
Yeah.
one. Episode
Exactly.
1,
On
part
Yo, I
two.
was talking about that.
Say
Yo,
it.
YouTube
about the
parts
same thing.
downloading. Oh my
Yes. Say
gosh.
it.
It's like,
Ooh,
here's
man,
the
that was
thing
a
though. It's like,
struggle.
Fucking
I would
shuffle,
argue a
yo.
little bit that like some of the shows we talked about earlier are a classic simply because they were just shows that got circled around at school and were on Toonami and shit. Like, we had nothing else to watch. We didn't have the internet to like go to places, so you were watching Cowboy Bebop if you were into anime, and it just stayed with you because it was one of the first animes you watched. Like,
Yeah, that's
Well,
a scary
sure,
thought. That's a scary thought. Like
but
our classics are only classics because it's all we had.
it was all
but
Yo,
we
that's
had at the
kind
time.
that. Wait a second. Wait. Rewind that.
what?
So, are you saying that the classics are basically peanut butter and jelly sandwiches? Like,
No,
you just sound like it's it.
Not PB&J.
I'm just saying it
Yeah,
definitely
grilled cheese,
A
yo.
contributed
little bit of that, like,
because
it's
that's all
not.
we had,
it contributed. Like,
It's
contributed.
not, and I can refute that immediately.
go for it.
PB&J
Oh my god.
is PB&J is classic because yes, it's cheap, yes, it's accessible, but I would argue that that's also what made PB&J so easy to distribute. There are other things that
Yeah.
are cheap and accessible, but they're not as easy to distribute. I would actually argue that some of your faves and some of the things that you got started on really early are classics because they had the staying power to punch through what was literally that wall of, just barely getting smuggled into the US on somebody's VHS or, staying up.
That's what I was
Yeah.
gonna
Agreed.
argue.
Back when
Distribution and
Agreed.
piracy, and piracy.
like if
Agreed.
you back in the day, they were literally pirating anything. Anything and everything was getting over here in VHS form. But you know what the good stuff was, right?
Right.
Like that was the stuff that got picked for Toonami.
That was the shit that went
Toonami
on a
had
school block.
like it's not necessarily, and I want to make sure I say this correctly, or I want to make sure I say this as I intended. But it's not that something that's classic was just, oh, we need something to fill this block, let's throw it on there. Like stuff that was resoundingly popular and strong in Japan is what made it here. There were other things that were not strong and resounding too. There were other things that were not for kids that were anime that made it over here too. But the biggest things and the most memorable things, the instant classics, are the things that had the staying power to get their slot on Toonami, that had the staying power to get uploaded to YouTube in 24 parts, half of them with Spanish subtitles. They had the potential.
Tell it.
Agreed.
So random, just curveball, because I just randomly thought about it. Do any of us consider Fairy Tale to be a classic?
Yes.
Okay.
Really?
I don't like
really?
it.
I don't like.
I don't. I mean,
Be
it's
real?
not
For
A hard
the
pass for me.
it's a classic, not in the sense of its for me, not in the sense of its quality, just in a sense of its impact, I guess.
It's
You said that was his
Eh,
bitterness. Like, just like,
I
and
wouldn't
he's
even.
absolutely right.
I
Like,
mean, how much
Because
of
fairy
a
tale's trash, right? It's trash,
it
but
is.
it's
It
a lot of
is.
people's trash, right?
no, wait, hold on.
Let me
Fairy
play
May as well
Tale.
throw in bleach in there while you're talking about it.
Hold on,
Hey,
hold
hey, hey,
on,
it's a
hold
classic.
No,
on.
no,
Bleach
no,
is a
no, no, no.
classic.
Chill down.
No, no,
Chill.
no, no.
Let me say something about Fairy Tale. Now, the beginning of Fairy Tale was dope. It was only when they got to the island arc
Time skip.
time skip is when things went downhill. Even though they tried to stay uphill, they went downhill. But Fairy Tale, before that time skip, was awesome. Even though they didn't kill anybody. Well, I think one guy they killed, one guy. But awesome fights,
He came back.
pretty good characters. Even though it was about Lucy. I
Was
didn't
it
even know
though?
it was about
Was
Lucy.
it though?
But it was.
It definitely was. But High Top, I have a question for you.
Yes.
If we would consider Fairy Tale a classic, but we can acknowledge that Fairy Tale took a turn, why is Akame got killed not a classic?
Because it was
At
trash
that
to begin
point-
with.
Oh,
But
it was
our
trash.
trash. It was
But
trash.
that wasn't-
No. It was
like,
trash. We don't talk about that. We bury it. Mm-mm.
No, we did
I
not.
feel
We
like
do
But
not.
do you think Fairy Tale had as much of an impact as Akame got killed?
Actually,
yeah.
this is leaded to some. This is
At
the reason
Fairy-
I asked the
I
Oh
would-
question.
no, it's Akame
I would
got
argue that Fairy Tale had more of an impact than Akame
Yeah.
got
I
Oh,
would
yeah,
agree on
totally.
that.
That's why Akame got killed can go kick racks.
Here's what I'm leading to,
I
though.
need
Hold
y'all
up.
to stop
Hold up.
talking
Here's where
about
I'm leading to,
Akame got
though.
killed like this.
The reason I asked this is because we consider Fairy Tale to be a classic begrudgingly, just like how
Mm.
we consider Bleach and Naruto to be a classic.
Hell
But
yeah.
are they classic because they were long running enough to become a
No.
classic?
No, no, no,
Nope.
no,
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 because
no,
at that
no.
point, like One Piece is currently running, but you call One Piece? Would you call One Piece a classic?
Yes.
Yes,
Totally.
Not,
Definitely.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Because
but
But
like,
not
like,
because it's long running.
but does
Being
it
a
feel like
classic has-
long running shows usually end up being classics because they
No.
have
But
to
that was
stay
back in
relevant?
the
I
that was back
disagree.
in the
I'd
day,
argue
though.
that I'd say Bleach and Naruto are one of the few longest running ones that could be considered classic. All the actual classics that we can think of don't actually have that many episodes.
You know what? All you
Yeah.
young
Would you
people on this call.
would you
make
say
me
Inuyasha is that? So
Yeah, it's just absolutely a classic, but
Of
yeah, but
course.
that mm,
You know
what was it
what?
really about
Takahashi
though?
was on Takahashi was on the mic. Of course, it's a classic.
You know what? You
Yeah.
know what I'm gonna do? You know what I'm gonna do? We're gonna stop.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna save this for another discussion.
or two.
This is gonna be
Part
a
two.
part 2. Gonna give us some time to do more research. I'm gonna continue this
Yo, we don't
discussion.
research for this. We just come in, don't
We
we?
don't.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for
but
real, but
I don't
Guns
know.
blazing, yo.
I'm
Just
sorry.
Some of us.
Hey, man.
I'm
Some of us have a
saying,
fair
like,
note.
You might
I
find
have some
something
notes.
else new. Who knows?
No,
I
I
need
just want to
facts by
add
though.
that like my complete distaste for Fairy Tail is solely because I loved it and it
What?
disappointed me tremendously
But
in the
there's
end.
nothing wrong with that. Like I
Yeah.
would call Fairy Tale a classic because I loved Fairy Tale and it had strong potential. When you love something and you want better for it, I feel like that contributes back to what I was saying is a classic. It's something that carries symbolic meaning and it spreads it transcends a generation, it transcends a group, and it fixes itself in a certain aspect of culture. You know,
Right, that
everything.
is.
I'd say that last
that.
part is important though. It can't just be something that, that you love and want better for. It has to be something that I can say like the community could have
Correct. The
community has
community
like a
Which
agrees.
is
yeah.
exactly why
The
Right.
I
community
consider Ruby as
agrees that they
classic,
love
even
it.
though I don't like it.
Ruby
But
a
yeah.
classic? Okay, you know what? We're gonna
But
do this
but
another
yeah.
time.
Yeah, we gotta take this offline.
Yeah, we gotta take this offline. Save it for the other one. But this is a dope discussion.
Where's our outro?
Oh yeah, man. What are you
You
gonna
didn't
rush
stop
me
recording, did you?
for?
You
No, I
didn't
didn't stop recording. We've been
okay,
recording this whole time. What you mean?
okay, just saying.
No, man. Of course
All right,
not.
get to it then.
Damn.
You know what? You know what? I got you. Anyway, before I do this outro, I want to give some special thanks to Star, well, and Nye, because you guys
But I do.
can't see it yet.
I
You
was just
guys
thinking that
can't.
too.
You guys can't see it yet, but when the YouTube video comes out, they actually helped out making the overlay and remaking the logo for it, and
Oh,
it looks really dope. And I want to give a thanks to you guys. I really appreciate it.
Thank you guys.
of course.
Appreciate that we both forgot. No problem.
You can't see me, but my hands are making a heart. So
And then also, so like if they permit me, I'll put their socials down below. If anybody wants to follow them, go ahead, because they're dope peeps. Nine, maybe not so much. I don't know. I'm just playing. I'm playing. I'm
Boy.
playing. I'm playing. Anyway, that that ends tonight's episode of the Baka Gamers podcast. If you look below, go ahead, follow the socials. We're on Twitter and Instagram. Twitter a little bit more than Instagram. And if you enjoyed the content, subscribe to the channel. Keep up with all the episodes. And with that, this is High Top, and this is the Baka Gamers podcast signing off. Peace out, guys.
bye.
Later.
Bye.
Please.